Hey my friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. My name is DorianKoholi, and today we are doing a speed build for, I guess, a speed rebuild of the Strangerville Information Center. So I recently played through the entire Strangerville mystery. It was my first time doing so, even though I've had the pack for several years now. I had a ton of fun with it. I really liked the storyline, and even though it got a bit grindy at times with having to make friends and having to scan to find vaccines for components, then find more components, it was still pretty engaging overall. I had a lot of fun seeing the world evolve as you progressed, with the sky kind of turning more ominous, the vines and stuff growing from your shower and tub and everything. It was pretty cool. And even if it was just pointing and clicking on occasion, the fight with the mother plant was still pretty nail-biting. And like I said, I had a lot of fun. But through this quest line, one of the places you'll need to go to a few times is the Strangerville Information Center. This is basically the library in the center of the town. The original build, like most builds that came with older packs before they started using like content creators to create stuff, is a little bit sad. It's basically just a big box, a few bookshelves in the middle of the floor, some places to sit. I think there's a computer, but yeah, not much else to it. So my goal was to make it look a little more like an actual library and to fill out the lot a little bit better. So while it pretty much serves the same purpose as before, it hopefully looks a little nicer, and there may be a little bit more you can do here if you decide you still want to play in Strangerville after you complete the quest line. So the first floor, it's a library. The first floor has bookshelves, a section with computers, and a section with some more comfortable seating. It also has a front desk for the librarian and some restrooms. Upstairs, there's a kids section, a couple more restrooms, and some display shelves with books and some other Strangerville clutter items. There's also a little ladder that goes up to the third floor, which is basically just part of that tower. I didn't put anything in here, but I can see this as being a cute little hideaway if you decide you download it and want to play with it. The basement is where things get a little more Strangerville-y, I guess. One side of the basement is just a bunch of bookshelves and computer stations. I was kind of envisioning this to be a bit more of like a research section of the library, maybe somewhere that isn't as like big and fancy, but it has all the books you need, some places to sit, some computers, etc. The other side, I tried to create a little Strangerville lab. My thought would be this would be like kind of like a little satellite lab for the main secret lab, and this could be a place where the scientists are trying to monitor their experiments in town as they're, I guess, experimenting on the people. So there is also in this little mini lab, there is a chemical analyzer. You do need to access one of these quite a few times during this quest, but I'm not 100% sure if this one will work for the storyline or if you explicitly need to use one of the ones from the actual secret lab. Either way, I thought it was a cool addition, and if you need to, I guess, make more vaccines later, this might be a good place to go, so do with that what you will. For the outside, I tried to keep it matching the vibe of the town while giving it a bit more dimension with the second floor and the tower. I also added a bunch of landscaping and some outdoor seating. While building this, I realized that the actual lot doesn't 100% line up with the path. This is annoying as heck. Unfortunately, it's fairly common in this game, but that is why there is a blank row of tiles off to the one side. Like I said, it's a little annoying it doesn't line up, but it could be worse. The original lot was set up as a library, so I just did the same here. I also only used base game and the Strangerville pack, so you shouldn't need anything else to make this work. But that is pretty much it. So I will let you guys enjoy the rest of the speed build, and I'll see you in a bit. We'll do a little lot tour. So deuces. my friends, so here we are at our brand new Strangerville Information Center, basically the library in Strangerville, and I think it still fits with the town pretty well. Kind of has a, I don't know, southwestern-y vibe, I guess you could describe it, but the town is absolutely, this world is absolutely gorgeous, and you know, I thought it was a nice little mix. But you see, we kind of have the path going all the way around. Like I said, you can see, you can kind of tell it doesn't line up 100%. Like I said, this is annoying as hell, but it could be worse. We have some landscaping, we have some chess set and a few benches around this side, which I think the game, like if you download this from the gallery, it's going to consider this to be the front of the build. I don't understand why that is, because if you're accessing it, you're probably accessing it from this side. So this, I think this should be the front, the other side should be the back, but it's whatever, you know. But yeah, going inside, we'll start with the first floor. So I'm not going to try every time I try to do like a first person tour, it always ends up going like hell. So you walk in, you have like the little information desk. This would be kind of like your normal desk in a library. So this is where the librarian would kind of sit. They have a little workstation. They have a couple notebooks, have a couple of little community boards. And then basically everything else is just books and seating. So we do have a few decorative items, some statues. Like I said, everything from here is either from base game or Strangerville. So, but we have the bookshelves. You have a couple little computer stations, some more comfy seating. Apparently Sims just randomly leaving books everywhere. So that's fun, but okay. So yeah, that is pretty much our first floor. We do have the restrooms here. So basically we just have a couple toilet stalls and a sink. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Going upstairs, you see we have just a few more bookshelves, some more seating. These are all like the cluttery and like decor items that I kind of put in here as the center. Are a few bookshelves and some display books. We also have a couple trophies. We have I forget what this is called, a stolen necklace of the late Duchess Pinky. So little display thing there. A couple more restrooms. I have a kids activity center. So if you wanted to keep playing in this world and you have a kid, you can bring them here. They can use the activity tables and everything like that. We have the little tower area. In here, I just put like a little display like freeze ray. And then this is the ladder that goes upstairs. I didn't put anything in here. If you download this, you know, put whatever you want. I couldn't think of anything. I could see it being like a little cozy hideaway. I could see maybe putting like an easel up here, but you guys do whatever you want with it. And then I think that's it for here. So going downstairs, and it's a little, I tried to make it like a little more sterile. Like if you go to like a university or like an actual library, like the research section is basically just like a basement. They just throw a bunch of bookshelves and some desks. I tried to recreate that here. You have a whole line of bookshelves here, and out in the hallway you have some desks, some of which have computers beside them. I did try to put computers at every desk. I think that might still be in the speed build, but once I was playtesting, they wouldn't all work, so I got rid of a few. Also have some display cases and some of the flags from Strangerville. Out here you just have a couple more restrooms, and then this is where I decided, this is where like our little mini satellite lab is. So I tried to set it up so somewhat restricted access. I don't think you can actually do that in the game, so you might just have people randomly walking in here, but you have a little door with a warning sign. You have one of the big like security doors that you see in like the actual secret lab, and then you have basically here just a couple workstations, some of these little computer screens, this little experiment table, basically just a bunch of decorative stuff. The only things in here that I think are actually gonna be usable are the computers, the trash can obviously, and then this chemical analyzer. Like I say, you do use the chemical analyzer quite a bit throughout the quest, but I don't know if you can use this one or if you have to go to the secret lab and actually use it, but I figured it was a nice touch. It made sense for the build. If you're able to use it as part of the quest, or if you want to use it after, by all means. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So this is our rebuilt Strangerville Information Center. So this build is up on the gallery. My gallery tag is DorianKoholi, same as all my socials, same as my YouTube channel. And like I mentioned, the what I consider the back of the building, the game considers the front. So, but you can kind of see a tower in the back. You kind of see all the screenshots of everything. We only use the Strangerville pack. It is a library, and I think that's pretty much it. I couldn't just put in the full name up here. Actually, if you can't even fit, if you try to type in Strangerville Information Center, it doesn't even fit up here. So I just did SV for Strangerville Info Center Rebuild. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but I did include rebuild of the Strangerville Information Center. Hope you enjoy down here. So I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching another speed build. If you like this, please consider dropping a like. Please consider leaving a comment if there's any other builds you'd like to see or rebuilds, whether in Strangerville or elsewhere. elsewhere. If you have any thoughts on the Strangerville playthrough, like I said, I just completed everything myself. I'll post a link below to the playlist if you want to watch that. And yeah, it was a lot. It was, like I said, it was a little bit grindy, but overall it was a lot of fun. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I am trying to grow this channel. You guys have been such an immense and amazing support for that so far, so thank you. But with all that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.